A legend of his time, Thomas Edison was not only one of the greatest names known worldwide, but he also held the title of America's greatest inventor. He possessed a unique blend of skills, being not only a brilliant businessman and CEO, but also a masterful inventor. His innovative mind gifted the world with remarkable creations like the light bulb, sound recording, and motion picture, leaving an indelible legacy in his wake. Thomas' early life. Thomas Alva Edison, born on February 11, 1847 in Milan, Ohio, had quite an interesting childhood. His family later moved to Port Huron, Michigan, where his mother, a school teacher, taught him valuable skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Even as a young kid, he had a genuine fascination with the way things worked and would often carry out experiments right at home. However, when he reached the age of 12, a case of scarlet fever impaired his hearing. Surprisingly, he found a silver lining in this, as it helped him concentrate better as he grew older. There's more to Edison than just his thirst for knowledge. Even during his adolescence, he showed an enterprising spirit. At a mere 13 years old, he started selling candies, newspapers, and even vegetables on trains. It didn't take long for him to realize the potential this endeavor had, as he was soon making a $50 profit each week. During that time, Thomas managed to rescue a child from a terrible fate, as the little one was in danger of being harmed by an uncontrollable train. The child's appreciative father, who happened to be a station agent, kindly embraced Thomas as his own and introduced him to the world of telegraphy and Morse code. Surprisingly, Thomas quickly demonstrated an innate talent for telegraphy and soon enough secured a job with Western Union in bustling Boston. Not much older than a young adult, at the mere age of 22, Thomas accomplished a remarkable feat by obtaining his first patent for an electric vote recorder. This remarkable achievement propelled him to make a life-changing decision in 1869. He packed his bags and fly off to the vibrant city of New York to fully immerse himself in the pursuit of his inventive dreams. His early career. After Thomas moved to New York City, he found himself broke for a while. But things took a turn when he scored a gig at a gold indicator company where he repaired and tinkered with their stock ticker machine. In return, they paid him a decent $300 a month. Not satisfied with just fixing things, Thomas went on to innovate and create an upgraded version of the stock ticker machine, which turned out to be his second patent. The story gets even more exciting when he managed to sell his invention to Western Union for $40,000, an absolute fortune at that time. Little did he know that his machine would go on to generate $500,000 in sales and royalties for Edison. Thomas took his windfalls and set up research labs all over New Jersey, with prominent locations in Menlo Park, Newark, and West Orange. He was relentless in his efforts to improve and expand these labs, even going as far as dedicating 2 large city blocks in West Orange for his main lab. It is rumored that Thomas spent $180,000 to construct the West Orange lab, and he made sure to budget $80,000 each year for all the necessary expenses. Of course, he didn't do it all alone, so he hired a significant number of talented individuals to assist him in his experiments and inventions. Although credit for all the lab's inventions went to Edison himself, it is worth noting that some of the staff members may have played a more substantial role in their development. However, they all worked under Thomas' guidance and direction. Just a year after his lab was set up, he came up with a phonograph, also known as a record player, which instantly caught the attention of the masses. This groundbreaking technology was so revolutionary that people started calling him the Wizard of Menlo Park, and before long, he became famous throughout the nation. The first record player he created may have been basic, but it was unlike anything people had ever laid eyes on, and Edison was hailed as a genius for it. Although he did secure a patent for his invention, he didn't put much effort into further improving it. Instead, it was Alexander Graham Bell who spearheaded the advancements in technology during the following decade. By the year 1900s, Edison's company was raking in more than $1 million annually from phonograph sales. Eventually, the revenue would surpass $20 million, which translates to an impressive $260 million in today's terms. Interestingly, Edison's recording of an employee sneezing became the very first copyrighted motion picture in the United States. Thomas' electric light invention. In 1878, Edison took up the challenge of finding a better source of indoor lighting to replace those pesky gas and oil lamps. To make his dream a reality, he gathered financial support from influential folks like J.P. Morgan and the Vanderbilt family, creating the Edison Electric Light Company. Now here's where things get interesting. Many people mistakenly believe that Edison invented the light bulb, but that's not entirely accurate. Truth be told, the light bulb had already been invented by a British scientist named Warren De La Rue way back in 1840. However, De La Rue's invention and subsequent attempts by other scientists were either inefficient or too expensive to be practical for widespread use. That's where Edison's genius come into play. He designed a light bulb with a carbon filament that had a remarkable lifespan of over 1,200 hours. Edison proudly showcased his creation in a public demonstration on December 31, 1879. But wait, there's even more excitement. The very first commercial use of his remarkable light bulb occurred on a brand new steamship owned by none other than the Oregon Railroad and Navigation Company. And guess which building became the debut recipient of Edison's brilliant lighting? It was the Mahan Theater in the Czech Republic. During that time, many investors were putting their efforts into developing an efficient electric light, leading to disputes over the validity of various patents, including Edison's. Initially, his patent was deemed invalid and accused of being based on the work of inventor William E. Sawyer. However, in 1889, a judge reversed this decision, considering Edison's remarkable improvements. Moving on to the late 1890s, Edison was not only involved with Edison Electric, but also operated several other companies related to electricity, such as Edison Lamp Company, among others. Then in 1889, J.P. Morgan stepped in and provided financial to Edison, enabling them to merge all of their related businesses under one consolidated holding company, which they named Edison General Electric. By 1890, Edison General Electric found itself facing a significant financial burden, accumulating a staggering debt of $3.5 million. This unfortunate situation was primarily influenced by the fierce competition known as the War of Currents. Thomas Edison, a firm advocate of his own direct current system for electricity delivery, strongly opposed Nikola Tesla's alternating current system. Unfortunately for Edison, Tesla had licensed his highly efficient AC system to Westinghouse. The downfall of Thomas Edison. In 1891, J.P. Morgan intervened and ousted Edison from the company he had initially founded. Not only did Morgan remove Edison, but he also managed to erase the company's debts. Just 1 year later, General Electric merged with a rival enterprise named Thomson Houston. This led to the removal of Edison's name from the company, paving the way for the establishment of today's General Electric. Subsequently, by the late 1890s, General Electric found itself compelled to pay Westinghouse an annual fee in exchange for sharing the rights to Nikola Tesla's AC patent. It is important to note that Westinghouse obtained this patent by paying a lump sum of $216,000. Ultimately, Edison's company had to surrender and transition to AC, a significant turn of events. During the early 1920s, Edison decided to invest $100,000 from his pocket to establish the Edison Portland Cement Company. It's fascinating to know that the very cement produced under the Edison name was used to construct the iconic Yankee Stadium in its original form. As life went on, Edison ventured into a new project aimed at domestically manufacturing rubber. Unfortunately, despite his best efforts, this particular endeavor didn't achieve the success he had hoped for in the end. Thomas Edison's net worth. Thomas Edison had a net worth of $12 million when he passed away on October 31, 1931. Adjusted for inflation, this amounts to approximately $170 million in today's terms. However, it's important to mention that despite his success, there were certain periods in Thomas's life when he faced significant financial difficulties. There were instances where his spending on new inventions far exceeded the income generated by his previous ones, pushing him perilously close to bankruptcy. He found himself in such dire straits that the renowned automotive tycoon Henry Ford had to forgive a $750,000 debt that Edison owed him. The Edison Electric Light Company, later known as General Electric, joined forces with another company after Thomas Edison shone the door. He had not been forced out and sold off all his shares to back another project. He would have owned about $30 million worth of GE, which nowadays would be like having $500 million in the bank. Edison is well known for his groundbreaking inventions like the first lighting system, the phonograph, and the moving picture camera. With over 1,000 patents to his name, he kicked things off in 1878 by founding the Edison Electric Light Company. Thomas Edison lost a lot of money for a few different reasons. The industry was changing and his direct current electrical system couldn't keep up with the new alternating current systems. This made it hard for his electrical ventures to make money. On top of that, he got into a lot of fights over patents and had to spend a ton of money on legal battles. He also made some bad investments, like in ore milling technologies, that cost him a lot of money. All these things combined, along with his company merging with General Electric, caused Edison to become a lot less wealthy. Even though he faced financial struggles toward the end of his life, it was his incredible inventions that made him so famous. This man was an absolute genius. His relentless drive to push technological boundaries didn't just earn him a place in history, it solidified his status as one of the greatest inventors ever. It's no wonder that he left such a lasting impact on society. I mean, with all the patents he had and his ventures like the Edison Electric Light Company, he truly made an indelible mark. Even with the financial hiccups later in life, Edison's reputation as a prominent figure never wavered. I have gotten lots of results. I know several thousand things that won't work. Thomas Edison. If you found this valuable, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to receive more inspiring content like this. Until next time.